sound like the rebirth all over again, man. Matter of fact, the revolution. Okay, look, we sky high. Them colors mix like tie-dyes, like magic.
Hello everybody, thanks for tuning back in. I am back after a very long hiatus. You'll notice that a few changes have happened around my channel. I've got a better banner. I'm going with BRDSWRD Gaming. That's my gaming analysis brand I'm going with. My name is Shaquille Brown, by the way, but on YouTube it's Shaq instead of the Broken Wolf. I changed that because I really wanted more of a genuine feel to my channel and my content. So without further ado, let's just get into the fact that this is it's a channel update. I'm just gonna go over some few things that have changed and what my channel will be doing from the future. First and foremost, thank you very much to everybody who gives my channel a try, and to the people who have watched my content at least semi-consistently. I really appreciate that, man. It means a lot. It means a whole hell of a lot, actually. I hope you're always having fun with my stuff, because I try to have fun with it all the time. You probably noticed that if you listen to any of my broadcasts or any of my other content. But I do apologize for being away for so long. It's just that a lot of stuff was going on, a lot of stuff I'm going to explain in this update, but I just wasn't able to find the time to make anything useful or anything helpful or anything good, and I do not want to spam my channel with anything that's high trend. I really don't like that. It's just like, I want my content to have soul and energy and meaning, and I'm not just gonna put out whatever just because everyone else is doing it or just because it's there to do. I'd rather have a point, a specific point that I have put in place, and a specific reason. So that's why I haven't released anything. One of the reasons why I haven't released anything, and that's especially the reason I haven't released any kind of just random bullshit out into the ether and onto my channel. But this right here is the Knack 2 demo. I never really paid much attention to Knack 1, but I heard not so good things about it. But this game actually really surprised me. I thought it was a free demo, so I was like, why not? It is September 4th right now, and the game is releasing tomorrow. I won't be able to pick it up tomorrow, but on the 7th, I'm getting paid after I take care of some bills. I'll get it as soon as I can, and Knack 2 is actually going to be my my second or my next big game project until my largest big game project, my future game project, and I'll be telling you about that later on. Right now, I just want to say before I get into the live stuff that if you really like my content and you're a fan of mine, I really appreciate it, but I would love it even more if you could go ahead and hit that like button and share my content. It only takes like it's like a few clicks, dude. I would really appreciate it. It's always helpful to know that my stuff is getting out there to more ears, and I definitely need it, so I'd really appreciate that. If you're just watching this for the first time, welcome on. And thank you very much for joining us. I do appreciate it, and I would love it even more if you could go ahead and subscribe and also share and like if you like my content. And I have a shit ton of videos in the backlog for you, hours and hours of mindless entertainment. A lot of it was mindless in the beginning, but I've worked really hard to evolve my channel into something that's more akin to guides and has more of an entertainment value that you also learn things from. So the whole thing that really was the I guess you could say the origin of the reason why I stopped uploading as much and I slowed down considerably is because I left a job at I was working at Kohl's for a while, and I left a job there that it just wasn't paying me enough. I was okay with the job. I liked it. I was an Omni fulfillment supervisor, so I worked in the back end, and I would put together orders for people and things like that and ship those out. But I had to leave that job, and I got a job at Wendy's as a manager, and it was fucking awful. It was a really bad time. I hated it. I hated every second of it. I hated doing the work. I hated being in the kitchen. I just hated it. I hate food service, man. Like, most of my work is food service, most of my work experience, and most of it is managerial. And it is managerial work in food service, and I'm so sick and fucking tired of it. And that I was in a really bad place. I actually was diagnosed with clinical depression. I don't even remember when, but when I moved down, I believe uh, in the middle of 8th grade, like the halfway point through 8th grade, I moved down to Georgia from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and I think that's when my clinical depression really started hitting me. It was probably a lot of culture shock, and it was also the fact that my dad passed away in 2001, and it was a lot to deal with. But I kind of didn't deal with it for a long time, and that was probably something that it triggered. That when I had that enormous upheaval, it activated, I guess, if you want to say it like that. But it was a lot to deal with, and so that I've been dealing with that ever since. And this whole situation that in I was dealing with right now when I was working at Wendy's, it just made it worse. It just made everything worse. So um, I decided to leave that. I decided to leave from that job, and I got a job with a marketing company, and I was a marketing brand ambassador for particular clients. It was the client changed, but the company, we were obviously we represented one company, and that was a place where I really liked it because I learned so much about marketing. I learned so much about uh, how to market and who to market to, what to do when it comes to rejection and sales and things like that. And I've actually, a lot of my life has now been formed around that because I've created these life goals of being an entrepreneur. And the reason why I'm doing your YouTube is YouTube. The reason why I'm doing YouTube is a part of that, and the reason why I'm doing another thing where I'm actually working in as a social media manager for a company called Bungie Official. That's a sneaker company. It's an apparel and sneaker company. You actually probably, if you see any of my stuff or follow me, I probably have said this before, and I've actually put it in the description of my other videos before, my recent videos. Um, but I've just taken on this whole new mindset ever since I got together with that company, and it did a lot for me coming back and getting out of the mindset that I was in working for Wendy's. And the the only real problem with that is that it was a lot of traveling, and it was absolutely shit pay for the traveling that I was doing. Absolutely awful. And it was for the amount of work and the amount of effort you had to put into it. It just wasn't worth it. I got all the skills that I wanted to get out, or that I could bear getting out of it, with what everything that it demanded out of me, and I just cut and ran. So it was a little bit of a scary time there because even then I was like really desperate looking for places, and I was about to go to a warehouse, and I don't know if you know anything about warehouse jobs, but they're not the people there are not the I don't want to. Nah, I'm not gonna stereotype. It just wasn't the greatest situation to be in. So ultimately, I decided to look closer to where I was, and I actually found a job as a cashier in the place where I am now. Doing cashiering gives me a good amount of money, so I can survive. I can actually be, um, I can actually be helpful to my family. I can actually, Oh, by the way, I'm married. In case any of you guys didn't know, and my wife is pregnant. That's super exciting. Our baby's coming February 20th, so I'm really excited for that. But that's just another reason to get, into a place where I'm getting enough money and I'm stable. And once I got that stability from this new job, which I'm super happy about. I mean, it's basic stuff. It's not like super exciting or anything, but it's certainly what I need, and it gives me a good amount of money. Of course, I want more. Everybody could always use more money, and I'll get that later on. I'm pretty sure, because they love me there, and I do a lot of hard work, and I work. It's just how I am. I work really hard, and and I make a lot of good impressions on everybody. So everything's looking up when it comes to that so far. I mean, of course, life still has its fuckery that it likes to shove in your face, but whatever, man. I'm riding with it. Um, that's pretty much everything up to speed when it comes to me and what's been happening. Right now, I'm really excited for the future of what's going on, though. I am making investments in the stock market. I'm running my own social media campaign for the company. Looking forward into other investments that can become a possibility or later down the road. So a lot of things are looking up right now. And I'm just excited for the future. But I'm even more so. I'm excited for the future of gaming because Knack 2 really got me interested in the next big project that I want to do. I really want to do a lot of Knack 2. I'm going to be doing a lot of Knack 2 guides. And what I'm playing right now, the footage you've been watching is all on very hard mode. Very hard mode can be a piece of fucking shit. It can be awful. You see me get my ass handed to me. You actually probably hear me in the background kind of mumbling at what I'm saying, like a lot of stuff. Oh, it's not fair. You know how I am. Sometimes I think it's hard to say. Some of it's fair, some of it's unfair, and you'll see it later on when enemies their AI is good, as in when you become vulnerable, they shower you with the projectiles and attacks, but at the same time it's unfair because you don't have really a way to survive those circumstances. So anyway, you'll see that later on. I'm sure we'll have plenty of that when the actual game comes out. Um, but let me see here. I do want to say, when it comes to next projects, like I said, Knack 2 is going to be my biggest move onto a new game. But the thing that really made me think about making this life update was that I saw Monster Hunter World. Now, Monster Hunter World is amazing looking. I've tried Monster Hunter in the past, and the blocky ass control, the clunky controls, the heavy, weighty feel, like overly weighty feel of combat, the how everything was broken up into load screens and the missions were mundane and boring, and running around was boring. A lot of that shit turned me off, and I think it was Monster Hunter Try, but I never tried Monster Hunter after that. And plus, I mean, it's on mostly Nintendo consoles. I don't play on Nintendo. Fuck Nintendo consoles. I don't play on Nintendo consoles. I mean, not fuck Nintendo. They're pretty cool. But I don't usually play Nintendo games or play on Nintendo consoles. But now Monster Hunter World is releasing, and it'll be releasing on the PS4, the Xbox, and eventually PC. And I'm definitely getting that. The thing is, I'm going to have to wait till next year, like everybody. We'll all have to wait till next year because the game will not be releasing until, they say, early 2018, but they won't specify what that means. So it could be January, it could be February. We don't know. They keep releasing a bunch of trailer information, more in-depth information. They went to games, I think it was Gamescom, and a lot of people got hands-on demos and stuff like that. And so a lot of channels actually have in-depth analysis and information, and I'm trying to avoid that because I really don't want too much information on it. I really don't. But I will be doing Monster Hunter is like my mountain. If you ever played Journey, that big ass mountain that you see with the light on it, that's what Monster Hunter is. That's the future of my channel. That's where I'm going to be going, and I'm going to be making a shit ton of Monster Hunter. I'm going to be making a lot of Monster Hunter content soon. I'm just going to take the videos that I've seen and kind of speculate on them from a person who's only had a tiny glimpse of Monster Hunter, a completely fresh pair of eyes, if you will, for the series, because you hear a lot about the big dogs talking about Monster Hunter right now. Yeah, so that's the future, and Knack is the next thing that Knack 2 is the next thing that I'm going into. But right now, I still have Neo, and I'm not finished with Neo necessarily. I haven't even gotten the last the last DLC for Neo yet. But I do have I do have major projects set up for Neo. Like I have a narrative video that I want to do for Neo, because like nobody has a narrative video for Neo. Like, you know, nobody is. I went on YouTube and I couldn't find one, so I was like, I might as well make a narrative video for Neo. So I'm going to be going through the narrative and trying to put things in place to explain it better than it does, because it's kind of all over the place, and then it breaks it up with submissions and stuff. It just ruins the whole flow of the narrative. So I actually put it together for you and explain why this happens, where this happens. I'll give you some history on ancient Japan in that time period and what was happening and why certain decisions were made by the characters in the game, because the game is tied. It's like a realistic fiction. It's not realistic fiction at all, but it has characters in it, just like Onimusha has actual people in it, or at least the names and the titles of those actual people in the positions. That's what Neo did. So I will be tying as much as I can find actual ancient Japanese history into the narrative vids when I get a chance. And secondly, there's going to be weapon breakdowns for Neo. So I'm going to go through each weapons category. Except maybe the Tonfa. I'll probably have to just get the DOC sometime before Monster Hunter comes out and while I'm playing Knack, and I'll finish that up and do a broadcast, maybe a broadcast of it. Most likely, probably just videos of it. But that's going to be pretty cool. I always wanted to check those out. It looks like a lot of other players like them too. So going to be able to do that, and then we're going to actually, for the purpose of the narrative, I will have to get the last DLC anyway, so I could tell you the rest of the story. So that's pretty exciting. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty it. That's pretty it. That's pretty much it, man. That's everything that's been going on, and that's what I have in the pipe for the future. The last things I wanted to explain in this demo, because you guys know I talk a lot and I talk for a long time. I tell you the fucking too long didn't watch details of everything. So I can explain a little bit about Knack's mechanics and the how you're going to be playing Knack 2, because it's not perfect. There's one biggest reason why I play on the hardest difficulty of a video game when I get the chance, is because you see that? Did you see that? You see how they spam the shit out of me when I had no chance to retaliate? That's why I do that. It's because it shows you the cracks in a game's design. Let's just start from the top. Like, basically, how Knack works is this is a platforming adventure game, and it has combat in it. You've been watching combat the entire time. You're going to be getting upgrades as you go through the game. I never even played the original Knack, but I know that one of the biggest things, it was actually a launch title for the PS4, and one of the biggest things was that it could show all of these individual particles in engine and not have the engine, fall to shit because there were so many different individual particles in. So this game just does it masterfully. All these particle effects, all of this, when Knack falls apart, he goes to pieces. Like, the technology is really cool behind this game. The frame rate is always crispy smooth. Sorry about that. Share Factory only lets you record 15 minutes worth of commentary. I don't know why. It's fucking stupid, but I had to just start it again. It's dumb. Anyway, so the frame rate is always buttery smooth with this game, which is really it shows how powerful the engine is and what it's capable of. The graphics are pretty good too. They kind of remind me of a PS3, a PS3 platforming game if it was on the PS4. So I think they're pretty appropriate. But basically how the game works is you have punches and kicks. You can do a 3-punch combo or a 3-kick combo. The kicks actually get you a little bit more distance, but I think the punches are a bit faster. And the punches aren't even really punches; they're like slashes. This motherfucker has claws. He's clawing people's fucking faces and throats and shit. You know what I'm saying? Ripping people's jaws like Clay, like Lincoln Clay. But yeah, He has, obviously, if you press R1, he has the ability to shrink down to a smaller size like this so he can get into nooks and crannies. This is not something you want to do for combat because enemies have particular activation. Like you saw it earlier on where if you shrink down in front of them, they kind of rally and they'll run towards you and try to stomp on you or try to hit you because they know all they got to do is hit you in one hit and you're done. But the vulnerable mode that you see him in there is really just for you to get around to certain spots, as you'll see me use throughout the demo here. This is actually the end of the demo. You've been seeing it throughout the demo. And the cool thing about his combos is that they're actually flexible. So you can do 2 punches and then 3 kicks, or 2 kicks and then 3 punches. And then when you get the heavy punch, which you've been seeing me break the boulders with, and that does like an immense amount of damage, it can also break shields of the enemies. That can actually be a 6-part of your combo, so you can technically have a 6-hit combo. Now you won't necessarily need that in this demo at all because enemies will either die too soon or they will start blocking your attacks, but I just thought it was really cool that you had the ability to do that, and it may become useful later on to have that kind of combo maneuverability. So with these shield guys that you see me fighting, a really easy way to kill them is to heavy punch, break the shield, press square to swipe them once, and then or press circle to do a kick. I press square because once again it's a little bit faster to do a punch attack than it is to do a kick attack, and then hold circle again so you can punch them a second time with a heavy punch, and you can take them out pretty fast, which is really well done. So the normal guys with poles are pretty easy to take out. You hit them about 3 times in very hard mode. 2 times any other mode, they'll go down. Those yellow crystals that you saw me with, oh, by the way, the dagger guys, they go down in 1 strike. The guys without weapons that have the green vests on, they go down in 1 strike. Well, dagger guys, as long as you hit them with a heavy punch, they'll go down in 1 strike. These drone android assholes are like the hardest challenge you have here. They have various abilities that, you know, take a while to get used to, but just know that when they're doing anything, don't try to retaliate because you're in danger of being hurt more than they are. So it's best to just stay out of their way when they attack you. This is actually the end of the demo. But, so there's a lot of things in this demo that are really cool. There's a lot of hidden nicks and crannies here that you'll find. There's actually 2 treasures to find in the demo. You can't do anything with the treasures you get, but there's 3 options to get something. There's a soul stone bomb parts, and then there's a teleporter ring, and then there's like a topaz jewel. But you can't use them right now, and I can't let you see them because the game, like, it's a blocked scene for some reason. I guess because you can see your friends list and stuff like that, and they want you to be able to see what your friends have gotten from that chest, but they don't want people who are recording the game or people who are watching your recording of the game to see your friends list because it's a privacy issue. So I can't show you, but just know that there are various things that you can unlock in the game that will either change Knack himself, like you can change him to a different color, or they will change what abilities you have access to in the game. So like there's the Soulstone Bomb, for instance. If you collect all 3 parts of it and activate the gadget, when you hit a soul stone, it will explode into a shockwave around it, and it'll hurt enemies. It'll do damage to enemies, is what it says. I mean, it's just, we got to take it for what it says, because I haven't been able to construct the soul stone bomb in the demo because you're just not able to. It doesn't give you enough parts before the demo ends. So the combat is not too specific, but it is very tight. You'll know that enemies have a lot of tight tracking in here. So I think that will serve as a really good challenge, and I will be playing the game on very hard starting out. I'm hoping it won't be. Here's hoping it won't be a situation like fucking Resident Evil 7 on Madhouse mode. I end up fucking hating the game by the end of it, but I don't think it'd be so bad. I think that the thing I hate the most out of this game right now is Knack's terrible dash. It's not even a dash. He just kind of trips over himself and stops himself, and it makes you super vulnerable. It's stupid. I mean, I'm sure you'll see me do it. Uh, I did it just then, but you see how short that distance was to dodge that shield rolling back to the guy I did it. It was fucking awful. It's terrible. I don't know why they even put it in the game, but whatever. It reminds me of Dead Rising. Dead Rising, the original Dead Rising. Frank West's roll is fucking awful. There it is again. I hate it. Anyway, you're going to get most of your mileage in combat out of blocking, so do use the block as much as you can, but do realize that your block is limited. The more they hit your block, the closer it gets down to breaking. So just play around with it. I would really start on maybe hard mode, so that you can actually get through the demo, and then I would go up to very hard from there. But yeah. As soon as I get paid and pay my bills and see what I have left, I'll be moving on to Knack. The next thing you're probably going to see is actually the Neo, one of the yeah, it's definitely going to be one of the weapon videos for Neo. Probably starting out with the sword, my favorite. And then beyond that, we're going to be going into the Neo narrative videos. Simultaneously, we're going to start broadcasting Knack. Or at least showing videos of Knack. You see me here. I'm actually showing the many abilities. Oh yeah, you got the super punch there. That's not really useful in this demo. It's just kind of a flashy move because you don't need it to beat these enemies. I don't really know why it's in the game, but anyway, it's cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. And then after that, in 2018, I'll see you guys in 2018. I will be for the first time going hard on Monster Hunter, and we'll see where we go from there. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, I really, really appreciate this so much. Thank you for caring enough to care. And by the way, I love it when people love the stuff I do, so please go ahead and subscribe, like, and connect with me on YouTube or social media or Twitter or Facebook or whatever, because it's fun, motherfucker. Where else? Why else? See you guys next time. Bye.